How's it going, everyone? Today we are going to go over heel work, the very beginning of it. So at the beginning, we can either use treats, we can use praise, we can use general affection, or whatever you want to do. Today I'm going to briefly go over treats, but I'm going to focus mainly on the other two categories. Good and bad note is, if you do use treats, we can show you how to do it the first time, and then after that, we can phase them out gradually. You don't want to do it all at once because the dog will not accept it, or they will not, you'll revert a little bit, and you won't be making the forward progress that you want all the time. So heel work is generally easy. You have the dog on either side. Right now, Bo's on my right, and you want them, their shoulder on your hip. You don't want them further forward, further back. It's not where you want them. You want them on your hip at all times. And then goal is to be able to have no leash, no collar, nothing. Have them walk default right on your hip. So to get there is the hardest part. You need to be very consistent with what you're doing. If you're not consistent, the dog will think that you're able to do things, that he's able to do things that you do not want throughout the process. So you want to be very consistent and very structured in what you want. You want to start in a very low distraction area. So basement, your house, the garage is where we're at now. Start in a very low distraction area so the dog doesn't get distracted. It's focused on you, what you want, and you can't go very far. If something does go wrong, it's a very controlled environment. After, you do the very low distraction, and then you go to low distraction in your front yard, somewhere close, and then it's high distraction. It is a park, people playing, kids running around, high distraction, and then the highest distraction, cornfield, by the river, as much distraction as you can develop. Baseball game would be fantastic, but you want to start from very, very low distraction to very high distraction and stop and proof every step of the way. Proofing is the hardest part. When you proof, you want to do something perfect 5 different places, at least. I usually try as many places as possible throughout the process. So as of right now, you do it the garage, the other side of the garage, downstairs in the basement, the front room, 5 different places. Good note is, dogs do not connect very well. Dogs are very space oriented. So if you do something in the exact same spot every time, the dog will be perfect in that spot. The second you take them out of that spot, all your training will go downhill. Unfortunately, they're not humans. So they're very space oriented. So if I go do something in here, perfect. The second we go outside, we're going to need a tune-up because it will not be perfect because it is in a different space. Unfortunately, that's how it works. That's why you want to proof it in at least 5 different spots. So what we're going to do now is, right now I have Bo with me. I'm going to start out with Bo is perfectly off-leash heel. Done it in Lowe's. We've done it in a cornfield. We've done it in a forest right next to a river. How we've done it in the river. So what the plan is to start totally from scratch and bring you guys with me through the process. So start very low distraction environment and then go low distraction, a little more distraction, a lot of distractions, the most distractions. In which I don't know if we'll be able to get to the highest one, but we'll try our best. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to bring Bo to heel. The point of it is that whatever you can do to get the dog to heel. So right now, for the video, we're going to start out with treats and go through that general process. Treats is the easiest way to start because you are leading them. You do not want to lead them the entire time because that will fail. Once you get to more distracted areas, that will fail. That's what we want to totally get out of is the failing. Dog fails, they'll have a habit of failing, and we don't want that. You always want the dog to succeed in every chance you can. If it's a bad day, dogs have bad days too. It's a bad day and it just never goes well. You want to end on a good note. I don't care if it's heel placement. I don't care if it's a 5-foot walk. It's something good to end on. That's what we want. So to start out, we're going to be using a flat collar because that's what most everyone has. I believe that you should not start on a slip lead. Slip lead are for dogs that know what you want and that know what is expected. I do not believe that you should teach a dog on a slip lead, choke chain, prong collar, whatever. You shouldn't teach a dog on that. Once your dog knows what they're doing, once it's expected of them, which again is not for a little bit, once they are great off lead or great off, once they are good in heel, good at where you want them to be, at least starting out, then you could introduce the slip lead, choke chain, prong collar, whatever you want. Personally, I use flat collar and then we go the slip lead. We're going to use the flat collar to demonstrate starting out what's going to happen. This is exactly where you want him and you want him to stay. So again, Bo knows what he's doing. But going off the season, we're tuning up, so we're starting at the very bottom. So what you need to do is get your dog in this position, heel. And keep him in that position no matter what. So right now, we're just going through, heel. If he messes up, it's a very easy fix. But I'm going to show you all how to start out with. So, sit. Treats make it very nice and easy. You can lead him, so he's in the right position. You want to focus on this position. I don't care if you spend one day just paying him in this position. You want the dog to be here. If you want to pay him here, perfect. You pay him here, no problem at all. I'm using his supper. I'm not wasting on treats. I'm using his physical food for the day, which is the easy spot. What we're going to do is we're going to take a step forward, give him a treat. He doesn't have to sit down every time because Bo's been trained to hunt. He's been trained to sit down whenever I stop. If he's standing, whatever. Take a step. He's in the correct position. We want to keep it that way. Now, to lure one way or the other, I would suggest starting out with an about turn. So take your hand, cup the treat, you bring him around, you give him the treat, that's it. You give him the treat when he's in the right spot, not until then. So once you get here, go 1, 2, treat. You want to build up your wins. So again, for the turn, cup the treat, front of nose, and this is a lead. This is just leading. It's the easiest way possible in order to do it. Now we have 3 other pieces, so we're just going to finish it out. Once you get the outside circles are the easiest when the dog's on your outside hip. Good. Once you get the outside circles, we're going to the inside circles. So an inside circle is you cut off the dog. So what we're going to do is you're going to cut off the dog. And this is super nice if they get ahead of you. If the dog gets too far ahead of you, you can easily cut them off. And it shows them to follow you, nothing else. Shows them that, they should take your lead. So again, you just want to take one step. You're not kicking them. You're not pushing them out of the way. You're just taking a step in front, cutting them off. You give them the heel. I will add another video in with a dog that is not used to this. So one last one. Cut it off, cut the dog off, sit. And to make it easy, we're gonna make it a lot harder. Heel. Heel. See, he's out of alignment. So I'm gonna cut him off, heel. Perfect. We're back in, heel. That's even better. Good boy. Treats. What we're doing now is no treats whatsoever. We're doing this purely at pets or good boys. All we want to do. So right now, heel. He's in a position I want. So it's a pet. or a good boy. So plan is do the exact same thing, but if he's out of alignment, all you want to do is either a quick pop to bring him back, and it's not hard. You're not jerking it. It's just a quick pop. I only ever move my fingers. So what we're going to do is heel. When we get to here, new dogs are going to be out of alignment. What we're going to do is heel, and then we're just going to turn real quick, bring them up. And it's turn, and if he's out of alignment, quick pop, and there we go. I'm over exaggerating, I'm over exaggerating the pop just to let you guys see. It is very, very light. Heel. Again, he's out of alignment, distracted, you do a quick pop, and he's right back in. He's out of space here. What you want to do is you can either guide him back in or heel. Take a step back, back. Take one step forward, and we're back in. The reverse heel is to make it nice and easy, and it's to get dogs that are way out and about. Oh, go that way. Way out and about. Oh, heel. To come back in and reset. So, heel. So, like I said before, outside heel first, then inside. So next up is the inside. Inside is the hardest. Make sure you practice outside first, then inside. So heel. This is again easy. You cut them off, and they're in the spot. And they should be in the spot. You cut them off, and again, he's in the spot where I want him to be. What you eventually want to get to is if there's somewhere between here and here on you. Half step forward, or full step forward, full step back, or full step back, full step back, full step forward. What you want to do is you want to switch it up. Don't just go straight. Right hand turns or left hand turns, or inside turns or outside turns. Switch up to what you want. Heel. Inside. If he's too far ahead, inside. If he's too behind you, outside. Bo knows what he's doing. Make sure to praise every couple steps. Either pets or a good boy. One or the other. You have to make sure they know they're doing something right. So to start out, heel. You make a good turn. Good boy. As long as they stay in the position that you want. Heel. Make a good turn. Good boy. Start out, they stand, they sit, doesn't matter. As long as they make a good turn. And is in the correct spot. So make sure, even if you're just sitting down one day, sit. He knows I'm going to be here for a while. So, if one day you're just standing there, you have someplace, you have a spot, like a chair, couch, or something that he likes to go on, or the dog likes to go on. You stand there, bring him up to that spot, and that's all you do. Stand there and pet him. So here we have Ginny. She is a 1.5-year old pup, and as of right now, this is one of the first times I've ever handled her. She has a harness on because she pulls a lot, and her owner feels more comfortable with it. So what we're doing now is getting her familiar with the bubble. Yes, we have a few treats, but right now she's in the correct spot. This is what we want to see her right alongside. She's not paying attention. To give her a little quick pop. And she actually took inside turns better than outside turns. I was very surprised. Yeah, she is a little jumpy, so we don't reward her when she jumps. But we do after she sits nicely and stands in the correct spot. So again, she's in the bubble. She's right where she's supposed to be. She is getting distracted with her mother, which is perfect. She's a very soft and very biddable dog. So she actually took to heel very quickly, and it was super nice. She gets a little distracted, stops focusing, and then she gets a quick pop or some pressure on the leash, and she turns with me. She was paying attention a lot, so nothing really had to be changed. I got a little distracted, so my correction was a little late, but then again, she comes right back into perfect position. She's a little out, so I think about it, take a little too long, but cut her off, and she continues on perfectly. Now, this brings up where you have to be fully paying attention, and me talking someone through what they should be doing is another distraction on me. So, when you are doing this, make sure to pay full attention to your dog. Don't let them get out of where you want them to be just because you get distracted. So Jenny right now is in the perfect spot. We want her right there. But in order to phase out the treats, we take a little bit and start timing out the treats. So I personally, when a dog is in heel, I do not want them to sniff the ground unless, I drop a treat, which I think I did here. I point it out, and hey, she's in the correct spot when she actually receives the treat. And then she gets off and gets distracted, goes in the wrong way, but yet she comes back to where she should be. She does not get the treat here because she was out of the bubble and out of where she should be. So here we have Miller. He is about a 2.5-year-old pup, and he is very poorly. So he was trying to go over to my pup, which we are in bow vision right now. So I immediately turned away. He gets very distracted and very focused on other animals. So having Bo here, right above the camera, is a great somewhat distraction for him. So when he does get distracted like he did before, we want to go the exact opposite direction. So we make sure that he gets off and stops being focused on that distraction. He took to this quicker than I expected, in which he was very focused. Also, I had treats. So Miller is a golden who is very, very acceptable to treats. So he's very focused on where the treats were, which is fantastically starting out. He's in the correct position right here. And I was loading the payment, and he is also very acceptable to pets as well. He doesn't melt, but he does love his pets. He's in the correct spot, and we're just hanging out right now. So, what a good note is, and what you want to also remember is you need some downtime where the dog has to think and has been thinking and can collect its thoughts about what you just did. So, right here, he's thinking about it. You can tell he's panting. We haven't done a lot. He's actively thinking about what just happened and how, hey, he can eat more food. So we're going to start to try and turn. He turned himself. He noticed my body language turned a little bit, so he turned. That is exactly what we want to see. He's receptive to what my body language is showing, which is super nice. It's super helpful. And you can tell that he's paying attention to what I'm doing and what we are going to be doing. So he gets distracted and he wants to move. In this case, fine, that's perfect. Inside turn, he's very receptive, and unfortunately he's watching my hands and not me personally, but That's not a bad thing. He was rewarded for sitting, so he sat. What we want to notice is the leash tension. Throughout most of this, Miller's leash is relaxed. It's not taut at all, it's not tight, which is what we want to see. The ending goal of a loose lead heel is no tension on the leash. If we have a lot of tension, like we do with these two dogs, where they both pulled a lot, it's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a loose lead heel where we can not have any tension and not have them dragging or us dragging them. Miller is a very, very energetic dog, so we took a lot of breaks throughout the process for him to think about it. Here he was out of position. Perfect. I moved him into position and then paid him. And hey, he sits in the correct position right now. So I make sure to pet him. I make sure to say good boy. I make sure to let him know that he is in the right spot. And this is where he should be. So what we're going to do is he gets distracted. We have one final turn away to make sure that he knows what he is doing. And that ends the session with Miller.